I'm back with another video. In this one I wanted to sort of address like the concept of hard work and discipline, and especially in the arts, but maybe even in general. It's just such a topic. It's something that's, kind of like an all-American concept, right? Obviously it doesn't only exist in America, like clearly doesn't only exist in America, but it's kind of like baked into that like American dream type of shit where it's like with a little hard work and gumption and a song in your heart and a glint in your eye, you too, my friend, can make it in America. It's like, if you just work your ass off, then your kids don't have to struggle or whatever. Obviously now we have in like late stage capitalist decay era, we have that, with the wealth class, and it's damned offspring just like scurrying around, not knowing what to do, so it's like, is it a blessing or is it a curse to have come from wealth? It's hard to say. Anyway, that aside, we're talking hard work today, and I have to say that for my part, I'm not a worker bee, but I do come from a worker bee past, a perfectionist past. I, was a good student, dutiful and diligent, and, I did all my shit. I overachieved. Bitch, I sat down and studied for hours. Oh God, like at art school, I won that Art Foundation's first year award, bitch, for drawing like excessively. Like I would stay up all night drawing something, just because, well, in the first place I didn't really know how to draw. In the second place, I just felt that I needed to do it. It felt like a deep part of me to be so hardworking and stuff. And my parents, like my mom is like one of those people that is like never ceases to move, She's like always like, well, that's not entirely true. She could like, when she stops moving, she like passes out. So she does be napping. But then when she's not like napping for literally 15 minutes, like once a day, she's like doing this, she's doing that, she's doing this, she's doing that. She's like, she's like a very, that's like what America would have us all be, right? And stuff. And my dad is like more a loafer, but goddamn, he loves to have a job. And I guess it's more like a masculine pride type of thing. But yeah, he does love working and chores and stuff. And whatever. And like, you'd think that I would have inherited that. I partially did. But like, I got tired. I got burned out. Like, just like years and years and years of like a desk job will do this to you. I mean, maybe not to you, but like it did it to me. And I think that like, in this mass society we're fed this idea that like, that you will have a dream or a plan, a simple plan, have a desk job, right? Study something, have a desk job, be middle class. And then you just simply do it. And then that will be your life. But, sometimes things don't go according to plan, and it's impossible to know if something will work out or not, frequently. And in a lot of cases it will, but, of like mass society, it's like, yeah, not everyone has the same physiology, not everyone has the same like psychology, like You know, you might have picked the wrong profession for you. You know, you're like so young. You're so young when you kind of pick a career path, and you know, a lot of people don't really know themselves. We're not encouraged to know ourselves. You know, we're like basically bullied. A lot of people are bullied around by their family and the middle class to like go be doctors, go be blah blah blah, an accountant, blah blah blah, or even as an artist or something, you know, say you came from an artsy family or some shit, and it's just like, why don't you be an artist or whatever, you know. It's sometimes not so explicit, you know, it's just the expectation, you know. And so that there's not a real, in most cases, like a real nurturance of like what a child truly wants to do. And like if you're like an unusually bold child who connects with that early, well then you're lucky and Godspeed to you. And like, yeah, like, you know, these are the people who have like brilliant, you know, cool careers like ASAP. And that's, you know, seriously, you know, something to take a bow at and to marvel at, because, you know, that's like, it's the best case scenario, you know. Anyway, like, so I was just thinking about it, because, like, you know, for various reasons, you know, like, different, whatever, like, I have, you know, just, like, different reasons why, like, I can't do things in a typical way, because I just can't, you know, because reasons, you know, that I might have mentioned in other videos to this point. You know, they're legitimate reasons. I do have, you know, a disability, etc. It's not an excuse. But because of that, you know, I can only make art when I really want to make art. I can only make, and because of like years and years of doing things that I was forced to do that I didn't want to do, such as go to school, such as go to work, and all this. And like, yeah, no, I'm not a millionaire. I don't have like a big cushion in my life to where like I could have explored this or explored that. And no, I'm not the boldest person, so I didn't take a leap and like do this, do that. It's only now in my 40s that I have any kind of boldness to me, that I'm really starting to grasp who I am, that I can really take any kind of leap, you know? And yeah, I still have to have a job. So, you know, and the job wears me out sometimes. And my spirit is growing, you know, and so I have it in me to like do other stuff in my free time. And I do it, but it's inconsistent, you know? And you know, it's like, I would love to do like comedy, say, you know? But then it's like, when you choose a certain art form that like relies on like pure spirit like that, you know, and just like a gushing expression, it's hard sometimes to like budget that into a life where you know that you can be drained pretty easily and stuff. Even with anything, you know, it's just it's almost like a physiological thing, you know what I mean? It's like some people just have like a surplus of free flowing, like beautiful, like self energy that like propels them here, propels them there, you know, like they can be like a more mind over matter type of person, like genuinely. And it's because of their strong physiology, you know. But then there's other people who their, you know, energy body was damaged from early, you know, adverse experiences, or they're just not that like they're just not that kind of person. So it's just like, you know, for me, it's like I'm a kind of a more delicate type person. So it's almost like everything has to be like perfectly aligned in order for me to have like the right energy to do the right things that I really want to do, you know. And you know, and you know, like I'm saying, I have that energy more consistently now in general, and I feel that that's such a blessing. But it's also something that I've really had to work for and kind of like reclaim myself in all these ways and stuff. And even so, it's not consistent, you know. So anyway, just a little examination on why I can't always do art, you know, even though I would really like to. It's just like, you know, sometimes like, you know, the kind of conventional thing that people say is like, well, do something every day. Like, you know, you have to like, yeah, an art practice is something you do every day. Or like, you know, like, or some people like try to shame people, like, oh, why didn't you do more? Do more. It's just like, what? Like, you don't know me. You don't know my life. You know? It's just like, and you don't know my process. That's another thing is like, you know, at school or whatever, they're like, make a sketch and then make a thing. That's that. You know? But I feel like it's also like applying like these kind of capitalistic, like, you know, masculinized rules to creativity, which has its own thing that it's doing, you know? And I do think of it as a sort of like God force that works through me, say. And it's like, it is me, but it isn't me, you know? So it doesn't really work in the same way as like other shit, you know? It's like I really have to want to do it. That's the difference between this and like, you know, like, you know, like capitalism essentially. Like even in capitalism, right? Like say you pick like the perfect job or you start your own business and it's perfect. It's like you still have to do it all the time. That's what makes it like shitty. You still have to do it all the time. You know, you can't be like, oh, my job is I have like 5 different things I do and I just do them all. I guess you can. Anyway, I'm a little contradicting myself here, but I guess the point is that I think that the thing that makes like art different than, you know, like artworks, I mean, different than capitalism, is the compulsory nature of it and the like strictures and norms that are placed upon it that like are coming from like a consensus, you know, either in an academic setting or, you know, usually from that or like the market and stuff, like these outside standards that are placed on something that I consider to be like really holy and like an expression of like some kind of messaging or spirit that comes directly from a person and therefore from like God, you know, in a sense. And yeah, it's a little bit funny for me saying the word God. I don't really talk or really even think about God as such much, but it's just sort of like, you know, a shortcut of saying like, you know, the compelling force that from whence we came, you know, and from to whence we shall go. Let's see what time it is. Okay, well, this has been rambly. I may not publish this. Alright, bye.